We are live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Global Party 2017, Healing from the Inside Out. And as promised, I have the lovely Martha Clarke. Are you in Ireland or Italy today?
I'm in Ireland today, Italy on Sunday.
That's what happens when you're following your bliss, living your heart's desires.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking about accessing planetary energies of the equinox today, because this is this whole point we're all gathered here, that we're all connected. And before we get started, because we were talking about Ireland and Italy, I did ask Martha what song brings her this sense of and Martha, what was your response?
It was Miss Sarajevo by U2, because Pavarotti sings in it, and it's just the most sublimely, exquisitely beautiful song, especially when Pavarotti comes in with his glorious voice at the end. Yeah.
So we're just going to play a little clip of that and just enjoy, because every party's got music.
Is there a time for high street shopping to find the right trusted way? Here she comes. Let's turn around. Here she comes.
That's Martha. Here she comes.
To take the crown.
Fisica il fiume, trova la via al mare, e come il fiume giungerai a me, oltre i confini e le terre assetate. Dici che come fiume giungerà.
Here she comes.
And here she comes with Martha. I think that's a perfect introduction for you, Italy, Ireland, the two men. And now we're bringing, it's like north and south, everything about the day and night. You're going to talk about it all.
Yeah, we sure are. Okay, so will I start?
Sure. Where would you like to begin? What do you think everybody needs to know right now if they have no awareness about planetary energies?
Well, at the moment, the moon is conjunct Jupiter, and that's beautiful energy, because the moon is all about like our needs and our emotions and how we feel safe and how we have our needs met. And Jupiter is all about expansion and abundance and higher wisdom and higher awareness. And it's also about like traveling and learning. Mm-hmm. So when two planets are in conjunction with each other, it means they amplify each other's energy and they make each other's energy bigger. So Jupiter is really expanding the moon at the moment. So and both those planets are in the sign of Libra. And the energy of Libra is known as cardinal air. So if planets are in air, they express their energy kind of verbally and through communication. And planets then can be either in cardinal signs, fixed signs, or mutable signs. So when planets are in cardinal signs, it's all about initiating. It's all about initiating the dialogue and the action. So the energy of Jupiter and the moon at the moment is very much about like expressing your emotions. And both those planets are sitting.
Yeah. For the
already, have I?
For the novice here that's going, what? Okay, so that really means expressing our emotions, right? So this is but you said something about what we need too. Right?
Yeah, and it's in a very expanded manner, and it's in a very airy manner. So because both those planets are in Libra, which is an air sign, it's about expressing the emotions verbally. Whereas if the planets were in a water sign, it would be about expressing the emotions in an emotional way. And both those planets are in the 11th house. And the 11th house is the house of kind of how we are out in the world and how we are out in society. So it's all about like expressing our emotions and expressing our love out in society and out for the greater collective.
Like we're doing now, right?
Yeah, and it's great that we're doing this now, because there hasn't been a lot of this in the last year or so, really, with everything that's been happening in the States and everything that's been happening in Britain and so many terrorist attacks. It's lovely to see this energy coming into focus now in the 11th house.
That's beautiful. Say hello to Alona. She's saying, hi, ladies.
Hi, Alona. Where are you from?
She is, I already know where she's from, but let's see if you type it faster than I talk it, Alona. She is in Poland right now, but she's been in Bali, so she's making the transition.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. God, that's some journey to go from Poland to Bali. That really is.
So yeah, we're right in alignment with this whole conversation, because we're expressing the moon and we're expanding and watching waves ripple around the world.
Oh, yeah, yeah. And the ascendant is actually in Scorpio at the moment. So the planet that rules the ascendant in a chart is the planet that rules the whole chart. So the whole chart energy of the equinox is Scorpio, which is ruled by Pluto. So Pluto's all about transformation, and it's all about transformation around power at the deepest possible level. And Pluto, as we all know, is in Capricorn at the moment, and it will be in Capricorn until 2024. And Pluto is sitting in the 2nd house at the moment. So it's all about like deep transformation around finances on a global scale all around the world. And again, we're seeing that. You know, we're seeing some people have just been stripped of everything. I think you were telling me the last time we spoke that you knew somebody she didn't want to make any changes, and next thing she knew, she'd lost her house.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, so that's the level of kind of Pluto and transformations. And it's actually kind of quite an active chart. Like there's a lot of energy in Virgo at the moment. And it's interesting because I've been seeing a lot of very Virgoan clients in the last couple of weeks. And I mean, I find this as an astrologer. I think I said this to you the last time I spoke to you. Like I get kind of like waves of themes from clients. Mm-hmm. Like coming up to the Virgo and Equinox, I had a lot of my clients had like 3 planets in Virgo. Right. So the Virgo energy, it can be quite misunderstood. It's quite kind of perfectionist energy. It's very pure. It's kind of like the perfect secretary. And the energy of Virgo is mutable earth. So Virgo is ruled by Mercury, and everybody forgets that. Everybody just, like a lot of people know that a lot of people know that Gemini is ruled by Mercury, but a lot of people don't realize that Virgo is ruled by Mercury as well. But the energy of Mercury in Virgo is quite different to the energy of Mercury in Gemini, because Mercury in Gemini, it's air. So again, it's all about communication. Whereas Mercury in Virgo is kind of different. It's more about kind of like the nitty-gritty, getting down to doing things. But again, it's all about like the two ways of doing things, because Virgo is mutable in earth. So when a planet is in a mutable sign, it's like there's this exchange going on. So what we have at the moment is we have Mars conjunct Venus, and then we also have Mars conjunct Mercury. So it's kind of very much a time where I think we spoke about this briefly last week as well. It's kind of very much a time where people's actions and their thoughts are the same. So have you been seeing that theme among people that you've been talking to?
I feel that they're becoming more aware. So whether that was...
So you're breaking up on me there. What did you say?
Yeah, I can hear myself vibrate back on your side. That people are
Yeah, because Venus is conjunct Mars as well. And those 3 planets are all in Virgo at the moment. And then the Sun is in Virgo. And again, they're in the 10th house. And Venus is in the 9th house. So the 10th house is kind of like it's our fame and it's our vocation and it's our profession. So like it's all kind of happening in the 10th and 11th house at the moment. And Mars is sitting there right on top of the chart. And Mars is conjunct the midheaven. So the midheaven is very much like our souls. It's like our purpose and what we're here in this lifetime to achieve and to manifest. It's kind of like the legacy we want to leave to the world. So the energy of Virgo is very much of being of service. So there's a lot of that in the chart as well at the moment. There's a lot of wanting to be of service at the highest possible level going on in the chart.
So would you say that individuals are feeling called inside? It's just what's natural, that they're having transformation.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm seeing that a lot. I mean, I'm seeing a lot of people and a lot of clients wanting to change what they're doing and wanting to be more of service than they have been. Because you have clients worldwide, I think, haven't you?
Yeah.
And have you seen that theme going on as well?
I think the only thing that is happening.
Yeah.
That it's just cleansing, deep transformation, and realizing it's not the monetary system that brings us freedom and happiness. It's what comes up inside us.
Oh yeah, that's very, very true, because like the Pluto in the second house, like the second house is our finances. And the second house is ruled by Sagittarius at the moment. So Sagittarius is fire. Now, even though Pluto is in the second house, it's not in the sign of Sagittarius. As I said to you, it's in the sign of Capricorn. So Capricorn is it's cardinal earth. So it's all about like the slow building. So it's all about like the slow building of finances, but again, at a very deep transformative level. And it's not kind of for the self. Or it's nothing to do with the self. It's kind of quite egoless, and it's very much kind of being of service to the world. Because the other thing we have is we have a grand trine which connects the North Node and which connects Saturn and which connects Uranus. Now, grand trines can be quite misunderstood because some people say that it means the energy. It's like when three planets form a triangle. And they link elements, the same element. So like the North Node is in Leo. Now the North Node is going to be in Leo for the next 18 and a half years. The nodes have just changed signs about 6 weeks ago. So that's always a significant thing anyway. And anybody in around the age of 57 is going through their third nodal return, which is very much a time of what's my true calling. You know, it's kind of, you have your first nodal return at the age of 19, then you've got the second one at the age of like 36. And it's kind of like, if you don't get it right those 2 times, the one at 57 is like, okay, well, what do I really want to be doing with my life for the rest of my life? So the nodes have moved into the signs of Aquarius and Leo literally about 6 weeks ago. So that's quite significant because that only happens every 19 years.
So again, North Node doesn't have anything to do with like the North Star.
Yeah, the North Node is very much what our soul is here in this lifetime to learn.
Okay.
And the North Node is in Leo at the moment in the 9th house. So again, it's all about like higher learning, because that's what the 9th house is about. It's not just about, I mean, it's about traveling and publishing and marketing and sales, but it's also about like higher learning. So 9th house is quite a significant house because it's got a lot going on, and it's very easy to like pick up on the higher learning and to miss the traveling part. You know, so there's a calling, there's kind of a calling worldwide to travel, to learn, because sometimes we do have to travel to learn. You know, we don't always get the experiences we need in books.
No, I think it's more fun to travel. Like, just think of yourself landing in Italy.
Oh yeah, because I was going to ask you, like, what was it like for you when you moved to Prince Edward Island? What was that traveling journey like?
Oh, that was a beautiful render. And really felt heaven was on earth.
Okay.
That's how it felt for me. When I crossed that bridge, it was like crossing over to a whole.
Wow. And what drew you there?
It was just our inner guide. I had no ever be here.
Oh wow.
Like never. I wanted to go the opposite. You wanted to what? I wanted to go west. My inner guide.
All right.
Go east. Go east. And I kept saying, keep going east. And it was like, no. And then everything fell into.
Wow, that's huge. That's massive. So at what point did you decide to go east instead of going west?
Well, as soon as we got in the car. we tuned in and said, which way do we go? So that's how my daughters and I would make decisions all by our inner guide. And we go.
Well, it's funny because I mean, as you may know, I'm going to the States in 2 weeks' time, and I just got an invitation to Santa Barbara like 2 days ago, and I went, yeah, okay, I'm going. And I just feel more expansive about there than about anywhere else that I'm going to, you know. And I didn't expect that, you know.
Barbara's lovely.
Have you been there?
Yes.
Okay, so what's it like?
it's well, see, it's been a few years, but it to me was very relaxed. It was this presence of spiritual energy. There is a side. There's a line between the Spanish community, right?
Okay.
So there is a differentiation when I was they've amalgamated, but it can use your help.
Oh, that's interesting. Well, it's just interesting that this has come up, you know, because it came out of nowhere. It was from friends of mine that were living somewhere else, and they invited me there to do a workshop. And then when I said what dates I could be there, they were saying, well, no, we're in Santa Barbara. So I went, yeah, okay, can I come there instead, you know? And it's just like when you are, we've talked about this before, when you're truly in alignment with your calling, everything just falls into place. You know, and that's why, you know, the North Node in the 9th house is so significant, because the 9th house is all about traveling. So it's all about like traveling to manifest your true calling. And sometimes we forget that we do have to travel. I mean, I'll never forget how I felt after I arrived in Italy 3 years ago. I mean, the morning after I arrived in Luke, it was like, oh my God, this is the most beautiful place I've ever been in my whole life. And I think I said to you, I remember writing in my diary, I'll do whatever it takes to be here for 3 months of the year. And then 3 months later, I was living there, you know? Yeah. So that's what the North Node, and the North Node in Leo, it's interesting because it's in fixed fire. So it's very, and people kind of often misunderstand the energy of fire. People always think that fire is very external energy, but it actually isn't. It's very internal. It's very, very eternal. It doesn't really express itself outside that much. So the North Node is trining Saturn, and then it's trining Uranus. And like Uranus is in Leo, so that's in the 5th house. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with children, because Uranus in Aries in the 5th house, it's all around children and creativity. So it's all around, like, because Uranus is quite a misunderstood planet. It's linked to genius and innovation, but it's quite an impersonal planet because it's one of the transpersonal ones. Okay. Like the day-to-day personal planets are the Moon, the Sun, Mars, Mercury, and Venus. So we all kind of get the energy of those planets. And then Saturn and Jupiter are what link us to the kind of the transpersonal planets. They're what's known as the social planets. But Uranus is like one of the outer parts, it's one of the transpersonal planets. So it can be harder to grasp the energy. Okay. You know, it can be harder to grasp the energy of it. So it's kind of like a lot of genius. It's a lot of unusual genius and innovation going on in a very kind of flash fire way, because it's Venus. It's not just trining the North Node. It's also trining Venus as well. So Uranus is trining Venus. So that's kind of, Venus is kind of softening the Uranus, because the Uranian energy can be quite harsh because it's so fast, especially when it's in Aries. Like that's probably one of the fastest things that you can have. And then Saturn is in the 2nd house as well, which is putting a lot of structure around finances.
So let me ask you this. Is the innovative children that want to think out of the box, that are creative and working online, and that whole idea of doing things differently, and technology and breaking all the rules, and, you know, following what's their inner calling would be like the 9th house of the North Node, and this Uranus. Yeah. That the idea, and this children energy is just going to bubble up and create this inner revolution.
And it's very joyous and very childlike. It's completely childlike. It's very, because you know the way children are so in the moment, and they don't think like 3 hours ahead, you know. So like Uranus in the 5th house, it's like it's a heightened creativity, but there's quite a technological aspect to it. You know, because Uranus can be all about technology. It's kind of like the higher vibration of Mercury, you know. And it's interesting because, you know, Mercury used to rule communication, and then we've had all these technological advances which have meant that Uranus is kind of like the higher level of Mercury, and that wouldn't really have been the case 10 years ago. Like 10 years ago, Uranus would have been linked more just to being different, whereas now it's very much linked to technology. Like I've got Uranus sextile Mercury in my chart, which means like I grasp high concepts very, very fast. You know, so I'm just looking at and Uranus is actually, it's trining Venus, but it's not making any aspect to Mercury. It's semi-squaring Mars, but it's also trining Saturn, as I said. And then it's also trining the North Node, and it's sextiling the South Node. And it's opposing the moon, which is an interesting one, because the moon, as I said to you, it's all about like our emotions and our instincts and how we feel safe and how we feel nurtured.
Mm-hmm.
And then Uranus opposing that is quite an interesting one, because I think I said to you before, an opposition is like a push-pull. It's like an external set of circumstances that we feel compelled to change, but it's kind of a push-pull thing going on. So it's kind of like Uranus wants to expand, and then the moon wants to, and because the moon wants to expand as well. So like there's a huge amount of expansion going on, because the moon is expanding with Jupiter. It's expanding communication. It's expanding verbally, and then Uranus is expanding by doing.
So I sort of feel like this idea of doing things differently is like the norm. And what's happening is that before, people used to feel safe in structure and systems. And that was their emotional safety. And this Uranus energy is like going to shift everything to know that your safety really is following your inner guidance and being connected with your authenticity and doing it your own varied and unique way. And that's going to be the new version of what feels safe.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Totally.
I'm losing your head, Martha. Can you move forward? Yes. You are faded in the distance, and the frequency was.
Is that better?
Yes, I can see a beautiful face now. Yes, that's
looking at two screens, you see. Yeah. So it's just been interesting to see all the changes that have been happening in the world, because they've been very much happening faster than we can keep up with. And as I said, the energy of the chart is Scorpio rising, so Pluto was ruling the whole chart at the moment. And like just before I came online, I was thinking of where I was this time last year. Like this time last year, I was in Malta, seeing the equinox. I mean, and it was just mind-blowing. It was just out of this world. We went to the Menage temples, and we were up at like 2 a.m. And then we kind of had to hang around there for a couple of hours until we saw the sunrise, and it was around 6:30 a.m. And it was just, I mean, it's hard to believe I've seen it, because the week that we were there on an astrology retreat, and the week that we were there, the sun was conjunct Jupiter every morning. So we used to meditate facing the sun and Jupiter. And now it's the moon conjunct Jupiter. It's the exact opposite a year later. But we had to wait like 6 months for those tickets. But it was just absolutely incredible. It was just so, because you could see as far as the eye could see out over the sea and out over the fields. And it was just absolutely incredible to see the sunlight filling those chambers.
Yeah, I can feel it as you're describing it, how awesome it felt for you.
Oh yeah, because there was a lot of people there just taking photos non-stop with the cameras. And then once the sun started filling the chambers, they just stopped. They didn't even have to be told to stop. They just stopped. And it was just an incredible day. It was, because you were able to kind of go right into the chambers and then walk around. And I mean, Malta, the energy of Malta is phenomenal. It's got absolutely massive energy. It's very masculine energy. And then the energy of Gozo is very feminine, which most people don't realize. So it's kind of like going back to the chart at the equinox, like the fact that it's Scorpio rising, it's like Pluto is ruling the whole chart. So it's all about transformation. It's all about transformation at the deepest possible level in ways that we never imagined. That's what's going on at the moment, hugely. And there's, Neptune is down on the IC, and Neptune can be about deception and deceit. And then Chiron is there in the 4th house as well. So there's kind of like healing going on around the sense of home and around people's sense of home. Because Chiron is all about healing, and Chiron is trining Ceres. So Ceres is how we nurture ourselves, and it's how we nurture others. Because there's actually quite a good balance of elements in the chart at the moment. Like, there's 3 planets in air, there's 3 in water, there's 3 in fire, and there's 4 in earth. So the energy between fire, earth, air, and water is very balanced. So like what sort of themes have you been seeing among your clients now in the last couple of weeks coming up to the equinox? I mean, have you seen a change even since we last spoke?
It's this deep transformation. It is. Okay. It is like in your face.
Really?
Those are the types of people that are being drawn to me. It's like, wow, do I really have to go to the next level? Like, and it's the blinders are off. It's saying, you've been doing it this way, or you've been thinking it's okay, but it's time to step up to what's really inside and let your light shine and trust the process. For me, it's like the mind is just losing its space in time. And it's about, when you said about being in the now, that sense of a child, and that's where everything is just pushing you. So if you keep resisting and thinking and wanting to be in the structures in your to-do list and all this, you're going to keep having restrictions and things not happen continually, right?
That's interesting. Yeah, that's interesting, because I've been finding that. I mean, there've been people initially I've been getting in contact with before I go back, and they've been kind of like moving in and out of my life. And it's like, okay, do I let go of this? Have I outgrown them? And sometimes, and you know, we often think it's painful outgrowing people, and sometimes it's not. Sometimes you just kind of go, okay,
yeah,
next step up. And do you find that your clients are resisting the step up? It's probably like they know themselves they need to step up, but they want to come to you to ask you anyway, but they know themselves.
Actually, no. Anybody that's resistant would never have a conversation with me, because
okay.
To me, it's only one way to do it. Is to trust your inner guidance. And why would you want to do it anywhere else? So if you're ready to accept that, you're going to I'll help energize that process, harmonize you, so you can follow your inner guidance, and away you go. But
yeah,
if you're like back and forth, they always find someone else, because it's gonna be in your face with me.
Yeah. It's funny. Like, I mean, the clients that I've had in the last, as I said to you, like in the last 2 weeks, they've been very Virgo, and a lot of them know that they need to step up. You know, like I had one lady, she runs loads of she does loads of fairs in Ireland, and she's actually going to be in Washington when I'm there. And I was kind of going like, why aren't you applying for jobs in Washington? So like, you could work there with your eyes closed. And she's looking at me, and I'm going, yeah. You know, and when you set out to manifest your heart's desire, I mean, it's so simple. I mean, people have been asking me, how have I manifested the trip to the States? And I went like, I just went on Facebook. You know, all the people I'm connecting with, they're all in these business groups. And again, it's all women, and it's all women it's because that's what the whole energy is about at the moment. It's all about women stepping into their power. Mm-hmm. But it's about women healing the world in a very, you know, that's why like it's interesting that Ceres is in the 9th house, because that's a planet that can sometimes be overlooked. So it's all about like nurturing. So it's all about nurturing around learning, and it's all about like nurturing and learning to nurture in a different way and in a more gentle way. Because Ceres and Cancer is, you know, Cancer is ruled by the moon, and Ceres is all about like how we nurture ourselves and how we nurture each other. So it's about kind of like nurturing ourselves through learning.
You have so much information, Martha, and for individuals, just start with, how does my chart really work with what's going on? They can contact you directly.
Well, they can, yeah, because even when I'm traveling, I'll be doing consultations. Yeah, the website is marthaclarkeastrology.com. And I'm doing a couple of workshops in Boston and Washington and Vancouver and Santa Barbara, and I might do one in Prince Edward Island sometime soon. Who knows? Yeah, but they can contact me on marthaclarkeastrology.com to book a consultation, or if they want to send me a Facebook message, I can do a 15-minute free clarity call to get some guidance around what they want to talk about or what they want to learn about themselves.
And one of the other is you do location astrology.
I do, yes, I love locational astrology. That just changes your whole life. So locational astrology tells you where the best places in the world are for you to live and work. It's like Ireland isn't great for me. I mean, it's quite a tough place for me to work. So like I came back from Italy just to build my practice. But like when I go to the States, for example, I'm very fortunate in that the East Coast and the West Coast are very good for me. Like I've got Mercury and Uranus on the West Coast, and then I've Mars going through Boston on the East Coast. So Mars is all about getting things done. Mm-hmm. So like that's why everything just opened up there so effortlessly. So like if you go to places that are strong in your astrological map, you literally change your life in ways that you wouldn't have thought possible. And that's why like if people are going through difficult or challenging transits, it can really help to move somewhere even for a week or two, just to draw on the energy. It's like when I went to Italy 3 years ago, I was so energized there. And then when I went back there, I just manifested things that I couldn't have manifested in Ireland. Like I couldn't have become an astrologer in Ireland. The energy wasn't strong enough. So it's like I became an astrologer in a very Mars part of the world and in a very Pluto part of the world. But also my Mercury line is quite near Tuscany. So like if people move closer like to their Mars line, they get things done more. If they move to their Venus line, they get valued more. And if you want to manifest your vocation, then you would move to the planet that rules your midheaven in your chart. That's something that people kind of miss quite a lot. So like for me to manifest my vocation, if I spend time in Uranian parts of the world, it's easier to manifest.
See, that is just information for anybody. So contact you on that.
Yeah.
Weekly.
Sorry, what did you say?
We're also going to keep weekly conversation, aren't we?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we're going to keep doing this once a week. Next week it's an hour later, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, every week for an hour. So next week I'll be broadcasting from Italy. Woo!
So
I'll probably I'll try and drink a glass of wine as I'm talking to you. I might have been picking the grapes an hour beforehand.
Is anybody going to be feeding the grapes?
But that's the thing about locational astrology. You can manifest massive changes in your life. And again, as I said, if you're going through a difficult transit, it can really help. I mean, sometimes if I'm dealing with somebody, I mean, I would spend more time on location astrology than on a transit reading because it can just help them more. Like I'm going through a very challenging transit from Pluto to Saturn at the moment. So it's all about the death of everything that doesn't serve me. And this transit doesn't end until the 28th of November. And I was kind of going like, I'm done with this transit. I'm not waiting until this transit is over before I go to the States. I'm going to go now. So, yeah. And then it's like, as we said earlier, like once you put intention behind what you want to do, the heavens just open. And it doesn't have to be as hard as people say, you know? No.
Totally.
Yeah, it's like as you said when you got in the car and you went like, give me guidance, east or west.
Yeah, and when you surrender to it and you discover like you have and I have and Nazari was talking about you follow your flip, life is magic.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yes, I'm really looking forward to our weekly sessions as well. So can we put them out on Facebook Live and you can give me a link and I can post it beforehand? Yeah, because I'll post it a lot more now next week because I'll be in Italy, so I can post if people have any questions to ask. So will people be able to like type questions while we're doing it?
That would be great.
Oh, that's brilliant. That's great. Yeah, that'll be really good. Yeah. So if people have any questions about their charts or anything they want to ask me, yeah, that'd be brilliant.
And they can even add comments on this link. And you can back on that. We're happy to do it. And just
that's brilliant. If people had any comments on this link, we can pick them up and we can answer them next week. Yeah, that'd be lovely. Yeah, I look forward to that. Yeah, that'd be fabulous. Thanks a million. Okay.
So glad.
Okay, we're done. Okay, we'll talk to you next week. Look forward to it. And I might see you in Prince Edward Island soon. I'm just waiting for the invite.
I feel like next year we need to have a 5-day retreat.
Okay.
And here on the Equinox. That's what I was lying in the sand with the angels yesterday at the beach.
Wow. Yeah, good. Yeah, I'd be on for that. Yeah. Okay, well, I'll talk to you next week. Okay. Take care. Bye.